not create an overall federal policy. Without a federal policy in place, RPS policies will underperform. Leon Lowry, an electricity expert for the Senate Committee on Energy and National Resources, said in 2007 that another thing that the EIA, or the Energy Information Administration report, and many other reports indicate is that no matter how many different state programs you develop, you can't drive a national market that will minimize the cost for everyone, everywhere, without a national system, without a national credit trading system. And you won't accomplish the renewable generation that you're trying to get built. All the states together can't come up to over about 6 or 7%, according to the EIA. We need federal renewable portfolio standards, both to minimize the costs and to accomplish these goals. End quote. To establish a national renewable portfolio standard policy, the affirmative team offers the following plan. Agency is the United States federal government. The mandate is the United States federal government will implement a set of nationwide renewable portfolio standards. These standards will require utilities to get 20% of energy from renewable sources by the year 2020. Enforcement comes from the Department of Energy and the Department of Transportation, and no funding will be necessary for this plan. Before presenting the justifications for an affirmative ballot, we'll offer a point of solvency showing that federal renewable portfolio standards create consistency. David J. Peterson, a JD who has experience representing renewable energy development cases for the TORP LLP, which is one of the largest law firms in the Northwest, said in 2007 that a federal RPS would be good for the renewable energy industry as a whole, providing long-term predictability, attracting more investment capital, and allowing manufacturing of renewable energy technology to achieve economies of scale, end quote. Creating national renewable portfolio standards lead to three major justifications. The first justification is environmental protection. The first point under this justification is that electric utilities are the highest polluter in the United States. The UCLA Journal of Environmental Law and Policy explained in their 2006 to 2007 edition that according to the EPA data, electric utilities pollute more than any other industry in the United States. Coal-fired plants emit pollution that leads to acid rain, as well as particulates, mercury, and other substances harmful to human health. End quote. While electricity production is notoriously bad for the environment, national renewable portfolio standards will promote clean energy. The same law journal I just quoted went on to say that a national policy would expand the success of state renewable portfolio standards. Moreover, a federal standard will enable the United States to participate in, and perhaps even lead, the 21st century renewable energy revolution, rather than remaining conspicuously missing from the global efforts to promote clean energy technologies. This national policy will create a stable national market for renewable energy. Such a policy will diversify the United States energy supply and reduce the pollution that comes from energy generation. End quote. Not only do renewable portfolio standards protect the environment, it also results in our second justification, an enhanced economy. The national RPS would result in job and GDP growth, as the Energy Law Journal noted in 2008. Perhaps the most important benefit of a national RPS is economic development and job creation. In projecting the impact of a 20% national RPS, the Union of Concerned Scientists determined that by 2020, such an RPS would generate more than 355,000 jobs in manufacturing, construction, operation, maintenance, and other industries, nearly twice as many as fossil fuel, and representing a net increase of 157,480 jobs. Further, it was determined that renewable energy would provide an additional $8.2 billion in income and $10.2 billion in gross domestic product for the United States economy in 2020, end quote. The impact of this justification is an expanded job market, increased income, and huge gain in GDP. Alex Nagy, Jeff Doyet, and Steve Klemmer found in 2007 that investment in renewable energy can create high-paying jobs in the United States. Jobs are also created when renewable energy workers spend their additional income on goods and services, and when consumer energy bills savings are spent in the economy. By 2020, the 20% RPS would generate more than 355,000 jobs in manufacturing, construction, operation, maintenance, and other industries, nearly twice as many as fossil fuels, end quote. The third and final justification is a strengthened security. By using renewable sources, the United States reduces dependence on foreign cartels. As the UCLA Journal of Environmental Law and Policy said, in addition to the environmental benefits, domestically generated renewable energy adds stability to the electric system. Because renewable energy sources are not under the control of any nation or cartel, but are distributed across the earth, they are not subject to embargo or manipulation, end quote. By using renewable resources instead, the United States could reduce proliferation dangers, as the UCLA Journal of Environmental Law and Policy said. Quote, the more electricity that the nation can generate from renewable sources domestically, the less it needs to rely on imports from foreign countries. In the United States, increased reliance on renewable energy can help to insulate the United States from geopolitical issues associated with fossil-rich fuel and often unstable regions. Imagine if the world's response to a country's assertion that they need nuclear reactors for electricity generations could realistically be, quote, nuclear is unnecessary, invest in wind and solar towers, end quote. This would distinctly reduce dangers of both war and nuclear proliferation, end quote. By creating renewable portfolio standards, the United States decreases reliance on foreign fuels that tie directly to proliferation. This is a long-term shift away from dangerous materials because renewable energy does not diminish. Again, the UCLA Journal noted that renewable energy is truly the only source that does not diminish, no matter how many wind or solar power we use today. We have the same amount tomorrow without any pollutants or waste. Thank you, and I'm now ready for cross-examination.
You all ready to line up? We've got about 7 minutes until we have to go, so.
You talked about net benefits, right? Did you present a weighing mechanism for that at all?
Net benefits is a weighing mechanism. It's overall what's more, if we prove that our case is more beneficial than status quo, then that's the weighing mechanism.
Well, what would you mean by more beneficial?
By overall helping, you can say helping the economy, helping the environment, and promoting United States security was the 3 ways we talked about it.
Would it be acceptable to sacrifice ethics in the process of gaining that?
It depends which ethics you're talking about. If you're talking about, are you talking about ethics like opening the door for ladies?
Well, I'm talking about, is there a specific moral standard that will weigh whether or not the net benefits you got were gained through the proper method?
I'm not saying, we're not arguing that there's a moral standard in front of everything.
Alright, Chloe, are y'all ready to go? Okay.
No.
Dan, would you say that alternate energy programs are more or less expensive than the current standard?
I don't know exactly if they're more.
If you just like
ask
go
one or
through
two questions. But overall, it helps the economy about.
I like let Mr. Holmes talk to you about.
Would you agree that if it was more expensive, would you agree that if it was less expensive than what we have now, that entrepreneurs would be more expensive?
Depends on a variety of sources, whether or not someone enters into a market.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if it's cheaper, why aren't people doing it?
Can I go ask,
And so you're,
Question.
I'm getting cross-exed by like 4 places.
How did you define environmental policy that way?
That's called crossfire.
I know. It's fun. It defines how environmental concerns are approached from a governmental organizational perspective, often with the goal of addressing and solving environmental policies or problems.
Alright, so I want to talk about your second justification, I believe it was, that talked about the enhanced economy, and you said 300,000 would be created. So essentially, they will be created because more people will be working on like wind farms and such.
Specifically, it mentioned a number of places it would be generated, which was the construction, manufacturing, operation, maintenance, and other industries.
Okay, so since I have to, so more people will have to build energy efficient stuff. Alright, so if I invented a computer that was called the Mac, say, and I would create jobs because people would have to build Mac computers, correct?
Yes, if you offer a new product in the market, you do that.
Right, alright, so if I'm creating more jobs because more people have to build Macs, now if I invented a Mac, and more people wanted to buy a Mac, would less people want to buy a PC, for example?
Well, I see what you're getting at, but actually that's where the point in our case that said it's a net gain of 177